did it was in front of my mum, you might realise by the end of it why she wasn't very happy. It's called Fairy Aunt. I was never a believer in fairy tales, or fairy godmothers, or happy endings. There always seemed to be something wrong with the idea of them because tale was defined as a falsehood, better known as a lie, and of course, fairies needed wings so that they could fly, but I'd never met someone with wings. And there's something about happy because, as pointed out by Shakespeare, it's not a wedding. But I grew up with godmothers who had their own magic through love and stability. At the time I didn't know they'd stolen that title from someone who owned it by blood, not an idea that got thrust into my mind at birth through a tenacious link created when I got written into a religion I didn't understand and never would. It took 16 years to discover the truth of this, and when I did, I was told I was unprepared to act on it. I was too young to understand the stories written in my own bloodline, too naive to realise that the blood spilled in my granddad's lifetime was not so easily wiped away, too impressionable to contact my auntie who was a handful and reckless and could lead me astray, 2 years more waiting before I was deemed responsible enough to make my own decision, to write my own story. My eyes had been opened up to my hidden history, not fairy tales, but honesty that painted pictures on the backs of my eyelids of the truth about my family, truths I didn't know if she knew. But see, my auntie is just like me, in so many ways, creative, smart, funny, and obviously gay. She's obsessed with Marvel superheroes, and we share the same music taste. And we have the same expressions, both vocally and by face. You could say we got on like a house on fire, but I'd rather say we built foundations, because we cemented the building blocks of our past into a whole new construction. There was love in her heart, and when I showed her shattered pieces together and advised me through pain, hoping that I wouldn't make the same mistakes again, she cared for this relative in ways I could never explain due to the sacred connection of our family name. See, our genetics were encoded like a video game, but we both had the cheat codes to dig through the program. Finding similarities between our two game plans, we exchanged many stories, many photos, many words, before I finally got to meet her, my all-time favourite nerd. It was the 20th of December, 2015. The bite of winter was sharp and mean, yet I ignored the cruel frost and the longing for spring when I first met that fairy who didn't have wings. I took my first photo of my very own aunt to capture the moment, to capture the start of so many memories already on their way, all tracing back to that very first day. So I took the first photo and sent it to my friends, who couldn't quite believe their eyes at the photo I just sent. They told me, "Your aunt looks like a fairy." I said I didn't understand, but I filmed my aunt's response to give my friends the upper hand. She said, "A fairy? How am I a fairy?" And I thought that would be all, till she added, "If I ever meet them, I'll throw glitter at them all." She planned on getting fairy wings and hitting them with a wand. I thought, I guess the one that said it shouldn't really be so blonde. But my aunt hasn't met my friends yet, and they're safe in the glitter ring until they finally meet her, which will be my wedding day. See, my aunt doesn't know this plan yet, but I don't want a flower girl. I want my auntie wearing fairy wings and throwing glitter down the aisle. Because since the day that I first met her, I knew that she told her about my moving. She said, "I'm petrified of leaving, but I can't feeling that you get on moving day." She's been through all the moments that are fast approaching me, and she's sworn going to you. But that's not all that she helped me with. She helped with my fear to fly by taking me to Amsterdam, where we both got super high. She wasn't a bad influence when I met with Mary Jane. I chose to underestimate the power she displayed, till, head bowed over a toilet bowl, I coughed up my own blame. Now, my aunt found this hysterical, but advised me to slow the pace. She wanted to look after me, not have me throwing up for days. So whilst her methods of protection are odd, I can see her childlike heart, and I can't help but look up to her and regret all the years apart. So I don't believe in fairy tales, fairy godmothers, nor happy endings. But I have my Auntie Amanda, who will be here to protect me. She may seem somewhat reckless and be a bad influence at times, but I'm so glad that I found her, this fairy aunt of mine.